Schiller, the ex-wife of the man Maya had an affair with, takes the witness stand during day 23 of the Larry Millette murder trial.
The man who hit and killed an 11-year-old boy in Escondido was sentenced to prison.
A new policy change at UCSC affecting doctors, why patients say they're concerned.
Dangerous e-bike riding continues to raise concerns in Chula Vista. Are the city's new rules making a difference?
And we're live from Front Wave Arena in Oceanside tonight ahead of a big watch party for the USA and the World Cup tonight.
World Cup fever is alive and well across San Diego and the rest of the country tonight. Thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Marcella Lee. Right now, we are about an hour away from Team USA kicking off against Turkey, and there are several watch parties being held all over the county. We'll have a live report from one in just a moment.
We start, though, with News 8's Karthik Venkatraman with what's at stake in tonight's match. Karthik.
The good thing for Team USA, not a whole lot, because they've already won their group. Breathe easy, USA fans in the whole entire country. Although they will want to keep a little bit of momentum as they took on Turkey today. We did get some announcements just minutes ago within the half hour of who will be in the starting lineup and key players that won't be in the starting lineup. And let's talk about those first guys like Tyler Adams, Anthony Robinson, Chris Richards. Those guys aren't going to be in because of yellow cards. Falarin Balogun, one of those guys too. So if they were to pick up a yellow card in this match, then they wouldn't be able to play in the round of 32 knockout match, which is why they're not playing today. No Christian Pulisic in the starting lineup. That's a big one. He's returning from that calf injury. However, he is available today off the bench. I would expect that he would play some minutes at least in the second half, because he didn't play the second half of that first match and didn't play all of the last match against Australia. Matt Turner will be also starting in goal today, as Matt Freese will be available off the bench. Definitely a different lineup change, as Team USA has already put this thing away in group. They don't want to risk injuries, and they don't want to lose players with another yellow card. And that may mean nothing in terms of the standings as far as this match goes, but it means a lot to USA to keep things going to this fantastic start they've had in the World Cup.
It still does, because it gives us that confidence to what's coming next, you know. We were talking it with the group. Just because we're through doesn't mean we have to let our foot off the pedal. We have to keep on going with that same confidence, same rhythm, and keep showing each other and the world what this team's made of.
We have a group of 26 guys that all want to play, and in the minute the decisions come out, we're all supporting each other. I think it's very clear in the way that we've celebrated the goals. And so I think with that type of mentality, it shows that the team is in a very strong spot.
Guys like Weston McKinney, Ricardo Pepe, they'll still be in the lineup. But as those guys said right there, they're going deep into the bench. But this is a team that believes they have a lot of depth to really make some noise still. We would love to see Team USA grab all three matches as victories here in group play and keep that momentum rolling into the next round.
So fun to watch and nice to see other players getting a chance to
For sure. They work hard too.
Yeah.
Give them the opportunity is what I say.
I think fans are still going to be excited to watch this game. In fact, our Alex Cheney is live up in Oceanside at Front Wave Arena, where they will be having a big watch party tonight. Alex, how's it looking out there?
Hey, Carlo, that's right. They just started letting people into Front Wave Arena here tonight at about 6 o'clock. Lots of USA fans already right here. Yeah, that's right. We got more walking in the door as well. This is going to be a really big party tonight. They told me they are expecting about 1,000 people to come in tonight to Front Wave Arena, and this is what they're going to be seeing once they make it in here. What they have here is they're going to be showing the game on the two big screens on either side here, then also right in the middle. They also have a little bit of some soccer games set up for the kids as well on either side, so people are just making their way in right now. This is a free event, of course, so if you still want to make your way out here, you can. This is up in Oceanside if you live or you are near the North County area. Lots of excited fans tonight. They are the USA is going to try to beat Turkey. In fact, they will beat Turkey and go perfect in that group stage for the World Cup. Lots of excitement just building here as they are just starting to let people in. Back to you guys.
Alex, what's the vibe? Are people really hyped up or a little mellow since this match isn't critical, let's say?
I think people are still really excited, Carlo. I mean, we saw with Mexico just yesterday, perhaps that game wasn't of much consequence, but people still came out. They were loud, they were proud. This place is just starting to fill up now, and I think we're going to see just the exact same amount of pride here tonight for USA. This is already one of the best runs for the USA in the history of their World Cup. So this is going to be a really big game tonight. I expect people to be all out, seeing lots of flags, lots of jerseys. People are ready to go for sure.
Great excuse to get out and have some fun. Our Alex Cheney at Front Wave Arena in Oceanside. Thanks, Alex.
That's right.
And don't forget, you can find more World Cup content on the CBS 8 streaming app. Download on your phone or TV and watch for free.
In other news today, day 23 of the Larry Millette murder trial, and the jury hears from the ex-wife of Jamie Laird, the man Maya had an affair with before she disappeared.
News 8's Kelly Hessedal has the latest from the South Bay Courthouse.
That's right, and she was definitely one of the most compelling witnesses of this trial. Now, Patricia Laird, she was very direct. She spoke in a very matter-of-fact tone, and she walked the jury through how she found out about the affair between Maya and Jamie. Now, she works at the sheriff's office, and she said Larry called her workplace in 2020 and told her, our spouses are having an affair, and I just thought you should know. She testified the phone calls from Larry continued through February and March of 2020 to the point she blocked him. She was also getting calls from other phone numbers associated with Larry, his Aunt Kathy's phone, his kids' cell phones. The prosecution insinuating he was calling her from all of these other numbers because she had blocked his phone number. At one point, Patricia kicked Jamie out of the house. Then later on, the couple tried to reconcile. Patricia got pregnant. And in January of 2021, a few days before Maya disappeared, Larry got a hold of Patricia. She was about to head to the hospital to give birth at UC San Diego, and Larry told her, hey, this affair hasn't stopped. Patricia's like, well, give me Maya's phone number and I'll call her myself. She told the jury she called Maya and asked her, are you cheating with my husband? I'm about to give birth. Mom to mom, tell me the truth. And she said Maya told her no. Then Patricia said, well, leave the drama out of my life. I'm about to be a mom. And she said Maya told her he, meaning Larry, he's crazy. And so Patricia said she then switched into law enforcement mode and said, are you okay? You know, do you need a restraining order? And she said Maya told her, no, I have an attorney. I'm taking care of it. Kelly Hessedal, News 8.
Thank you, Kelly. A former teacher at a Christian high school in El Cajon is now pleading guilty to sex abuse charges involving an underage girl. Kevin Conover pleaded guilty to 5 felonies yesterday, a day before a preliminary hearing in his case was set to get underway. The now 50-year-old was arrested last December. A criminal complaint against him claims the abuse happened between 2015 and 2019, with the first act happening when the victim was only 7 years old. Conover faces 20 years to life in prison at his sentencing next month.
The man who hit and killed an 11-year-old boy in Escondido and then took off was sentenced to 3 years in prison today. The crash happened on the day before Thanksgiving last year. Aiden Torres de Paz died at Rady Children's Hospital the next day. 45-year-old Hector Balderas turned himself in days after the crash. Our Abby Black will bring us details on Balderas' sentencing and how Aiden is being remembered ahead on News 8 at 6:30. A new policy about required work hours at UC San Diego Health is drawing pushback tonight from both psychiatrists and their patients.
And as News 8's Shannon Handy reports, the changes are raising serious concerns for one program serving women's mental health.
The patients affected are among the most vulnerable new mothers. Many of them say they'll either have to find a new doctor or go someplace else for care.
And doctors are outside! Something's wrong inside! Protesters gathered across from the UC San Diego campus today, speaking out against a new policy requiring contracted psychiatrists spend at least 60% of their work hours, the equivalent of 3 days per week, seeing UCSD patients. For new hires, that number jumps to 80%. The policy limits the time UCSD employed psychiatrists can spend in private practice or other work activities.
The majority of them are having to either increase time reluctantly or having to resign and leave their posts.
Dr. Simmerjeet Brar is part of UCSD Health's Women's Reproductive Mental Health Program, which treats women who are pregnant, postpartum, or coping with pregnancy loss. A mother of 3, she can only commit about 40% of her time, meaning she now has to leave her job and her patients.
People that are pregnant, that are suicidal, that are depressed, that want to kill themselves. It affects the continuity they expect with their providers now.
One of those patients is Amber Marovich.
I was very surprised because I switched from another health system to UCSD thinking I was getting the best care. And to hear that my doctor is basically being being forced out abruptly. It's very upsetting.
Amber, who has 2 children, including 6-month-old Brody, says her relationship with Dr. Brar is built on trust. Without her, she's unsure if she'll stay with UCSD.
I might leave the health system altogether because I don't like how they're treating their patients and their working mother physicians.
Another patient, Ashley Martinez, is facing the same situation.
They're basically filling her spot with residents, and I already had an appointment with one, had to re-explain my story, and then at the end of it was told by the resident, "You'll have a new one next time." So it's like constantly having to restart over.
UCSD Health says it employs 144 psychiatrists and that only 2 are out of compliance. Dr. Brar disputes that, saying she's identified closer to a dozen. She argues the policy disproportionately impacts working mothers. In a statement to News 8, a UCSD spokesperson said the policy is designed to increase physician availability and that the health system is hiring more staff and expanding the women's mental health program. Dr. Brar says that misses the point.
The argument that you're going to replace us and you have more does not answer the issue of harm that comes when you remove us from these coveted, very tender, vulnerable relationships.
Shannon Handy, News 8.
Thank you, Shannon. San Diego County supervisors have unanimously approved a more than $9 billion spending plan. It's a 6% increase over last year's budget. Top priorities include $3 billion for public safety, nearly $1.5 billion for behavioral health, and more than $850 million for safety net programs like food assistance and Medi-Cal. The budget also sets aside $68 million to offset federal cuts hitting local benefit programs. Your water bill is going up, but less than expected.
The San Diego County Water Authority approved a 3% wholesale rate increase today for next year. This is the lowest hike the agency says it can remember, and it's below the current rate of inflation. Officials credit 2 new water transfer deals with Riverside County agencies, which will generate hundreds of millions in revenue over the next 20 years. Similar modest increases are expected through the year 2032.
Americans are about to spend a record amount for less food this 4th of July.
Those details are still ahead. Plus, a new initiative just qualified for the November ballot, how it aims to expand affordable housing for low-income Californians.
And how effective are new e-bike regulations? Tonight, we're working for you, checking in on enforcement in Chula Vista.
We have cloud cover out there closer towards the coast. That marine layer is starting to roll right back in, but it's going to be extending more inland over the next few nights and mornings, and that's going to aid with a cool down in our temperatures. We'll take a look at your complete forecast coming up.